you need to cut your spouse or your brother or your family some slack because they're doing the best they can. They don't understand it because, unless you live this, you don't know what it's like. So you got to remember to keep that in mind for them and out there because they're doing the best they can. They just don't understand.
What's up, guys? It's Squadfather and Life to the Max, and we're back at it again at the Abilities Expo, but this time in Dallas. Please enjoy this Life to the Max speedcast.
Just a couple of punts, all trying to get by. Just a couple of teens, all trying to survive. Live to the max, cause you don't live it twice. Couple green thumbs, all high as a cut.
Welcome back to another episode of Life to the Max podcast. We are live at the Abilities Expo in Dallas, Texas, and today, just like yesterday, I had TJ from the Dana and Christopher Reeve Foundation. Thank you for coming on again.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a busy day today at the Abilities Expo here in Dallas.
Super happy about that. Super happy for that. I couldn't not get Superman's
thank you. I mean, honestly, it's Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. I've been the National Peer Mentor Coordinator for them now for 10 years. And I remember, I'm a C5 quadriplegic. I broke my neck playing high school football, making a tackle. Although it was a great hit. I went out in style. I even have it on video. But
like a true Texan.
Yeah, the way I look at it, if you're going to live in Texas, you might as well get hurt playing high school football. I mean, it's the only way. But I remember being 1990 and just thinking, where do I go? What do I do? How am I going to live? What's going to happen? And because, and then Christopher Reeve got injured in 95 and then started the foundation. And then his wife, Dana, is like, we've got to do something for the people that are living with this every day now. I mean, obviously the Reeve Foundation is a lot of money for research and, things like that. But Dana, his wife, was really adamant about doing something for people that live now. And now we provide information, resources free of charge. You can call us and it's on pretty much any subject, as well as like my job. I provide one-on-one mentors for someone that's injured, what level injury it is, any paralysis injury, and their family members. Cause the family, as well as I do, the family goes through it just as well. And, just kind of letting you know that you're not alone and give you some ideas to how to navigate this life, cause you can still have a great life. The way you said, live to the max, and the way I look at it is I sit down and get better parking spaces is the only difference,
So, I agree with you 100%. And I think Dana, I think it's a beautiful thing that you guys made that because I didn't know what my family was going through. I was selfish in a way because I was like, I'm going through this. The world revolves around me. Blah, blah, blah. A few years later, I come to realize, wow, my family probably goes through a lot when they leave. They probably go through a lot when,
Yeah, they do. And, that's why I'm really glad that we don't just, I'm glad we provide, Reeve mentors for the individual, but that's injured, but also the family because it does affect them. And what's hard is, everyone that comes into our lives is always like, how are you doing? How are you doing? Because you were in the, we're in the chair and they forget that, the people are all around and like caregiver burnout or all that stuff is a real thing. And then the other thing is just, that sometimes, we can, like you said, we can be a little selfish about, because we got hurt. It's all about us. One thing that's nice too is like with, the mentor program and we talk is, the person that's coming to us, they can't pull well, you have no idea what I'm going through on someone that's in a chair. So we can give that hard truth sometimes. Like you need to cut your spouse or your brother or your family some slack because they're doing the best they can. They don't understand it because, unless you live this, you don't know what it's like. So you got to remember to keep that in mind for them and out there because they're doing the best they can. They just don't understand everything. It's kind of hard. So.
But have you ever mentored someone that was ready to leave their spouse?
Yes, unfortunately, that's happened several times, and it's been both. One being the spouse was able-bodied and just couldn't handle it anymore, and then it was the other way around where the person was injured and they just felt like they were too much, and they weren't giving the spouse credit and a lot of the times, unfortunately, it doesn't always work out, but a lot of times I beg them to really learn to sit down and have open communication and talk about what they're into, because sometimes it's just the spouse might not feel open, like a guilt. She might feel guilty, or he might feel guilty of, I can't be upset with him because he's injured or she's injured. I'm like, no, you need to let those feelings out, let those emotions out. It's okay to let those frustrations out, because if you don't tell that person and you don't have communication with that, what's going on, what's bothering me, what makes it hard on me, it just builds up, and then it builds up too much where you explode and you're past the point of no return, unfortunately, where if you take it slow by slow, and that means maybe getting counseling as a group or talking to somebody, but having that chance to, like, it bothers me when I do this, or it bothers me when you would just expect me to do stuff for you without you just acknowledging and at least understanding, some of the stuff that I put in, the work I put in.
Yeah, I can't imagine that, because, like, not my spouse, but my girlfriend left me when I first got paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that probably happens to, like, mostly everybody.
It does, and it's there's different people. I was 18 when I got hurt. I've dated sometime. I've been married. I got divorced, was a good thing for me in a way, but it had nothing to do with the disability. But some people are different. Some people, want their wife to be their caregiver. I was the opposite. I was like, I want my wife, or even my girlfriends when I've dated serious, as they're my wife, they're my girlfriend.
Same.
They're not my attendant. They're not my caregiver. So I have a caregiver comes over in the morning, gets me ready, and then caregiver, and I try to keep that as much as, obviously they know how to do some things for me, because there's going to be times maybe we travel or emergency, something like that happens. But when possible, I do that. The other thing is I try to, and you don't feel, I don't make, it sounds bad saying make up for it, but I'll try to do the things that if, I can't do a lot of cooking, obviously. My mopping skills are not good. So the house, the lawn mowing's not going to happen, but I can definitely go to the store and run errands. I can make phone calls and do this. So the things that I can do, I make sure to do it. And the things I can do that she needs done, I'll do that. Or if spouse needs that, just to make sure you're doing the best you can, as always. And that's emotionally and physically.
Yeah, did you appreciate to the choir? That's my girlfriend right there,
nice.
Joy. I told her straight up before we started dating, you're my girlfriend before my caregiver.
Yeah.
Now she breaks that rule.
They do, but they do it out of care and love and stuff, and you understand it. But it's also, I think, not speaking for, but they appreciate you saying that, so they don't have to feel that obligation and doing it. And it's always going to be open communication of what works and what doesn't. But at the same time, you just got to find what works for y'all as a couple. I always like to describe, spinal cord injuries or paralysis injuries as snowflakes. You're never going to find two exactly alike. It's just not going to happen. And it's the same with relationships. What works for some might not work for others, but if you guys have your open communication between each other and you allow each other to get pissed and upset or voice it, but at the same time be respectful and listen to what they're saying and take it in on both sides, it can make a huge difference.
No, we're good. I just don't want to get used to her, like feeding me or something, or I don't want to get used to her, but she's like, I love doing it. I love doing it, and some people do.
Yeah, I would just say, it's like, hey, when you tell her once, like, if you need a break, let me know. That's fine.
Yeah.
And she needs to be able to say sometimes, hey, can I just need a little, whatever. And both of you, it's just, don't be afraid to say what, just don't let it fester and then build up, because that's where we all know how that gets, and that's not good.
All right, let's change that. I'm gonna listen to your advice, by the way, but I just want to let you know that Louis Rossman was gracious enough to allow us to be on his stream.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. I already was looking at it. I was watching it earlier, so it's awesome.
Yeah, so he has 2.5 million subscribers, so and we got 100 views right now.
Really? Well, hello everybody. I hope you are enjoying this podcast. I think it's amazing. I love and their shirts are so cool. Y'all shirts are so cool that y'all have.
It could be worse too. Everyone was against it. I was like,
I love it. Oh, my thing is too, with this injury, I mean, I'm not the most politically correct sometimes because I will say jokes and I say things. I'm like, because my feeling is if you can laugh at a situation, then you can handle a situation. You know, we got to learn to have more humor in this life.
Which brings me right back to one of my questions. I was going to say, what's your favorite Christopher Reeves moment? Because I guarantee he would love those shirts.
Oh yeah. I loved it because when he, was injured, he brought so much awareness to paralysis and obviously spinal cord injury, but just paralysis in general. I'm old, so I remember what it was like when Magic Johnson was diagnosed with HIV, and that brought a lot of awareness to HIV. Well, before that, we never really had a really big event, and then all of a sudden, Superman, of all people, Superman gets paralyzed.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, and they realize, oh my God, it can happen to anybody. And he embraced that, and he would make humorous, self-deprecating jokes once in a while, just off the cuff, like, oh, he's gonna walk on out here. I'm like, no, I'm gonna roll on out here, or littlest things like that. But being able to give people permission to feel comfortable and ask questions is probably the most important, because that it's not their duty to understand all this. It's ask me questions. I don't care. Tell me exactly, if someone's in there, if they're looking at me, I'm like, I tell them really quickly how I got hurt. So they're not just sitting there wondering, they're listening. But I want people to ask questions, because that's how we become more empathetic in this world, is more understanding.
One of my favorite moments is when he was a badass and he did the Oscar announcement or something like that, like a freaking boss, like Superman.
Oh yeah, he just came out, and it was so cool because I had forgotten about that, when that first happened a long time ago. And then recently this year, the Superman documentary came out. It's awesome. It's on Max. It's also on Amazon. It's so great. And then they replayed that of the Oscar when he did it. And I was just like, okay, people don't realize he went on to direct movies and star in movies even after his injury.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. It was impressive. Directed movies, and really well too. Yeah.
And all you have is your voice. Like, I need you to move 4 feet to the left with it.
But I tell people all the time, I preach to them, just because you're injured doesn't mean you don't have power, and make sure that you self-direct what you need and what's going on. Be part of the community, be part of life. If you can make the phone calls, or if you can, never be disrespectful, but don't feel bad, to stand up for yourself, understand your rights, and do it in the correct way. But we can do this, and people, there's nothing more frustrating when people ask somebody that's next to me about something. If I want, I'm like, no, my ears work, my mouth works. I'll take care of what I need,
Just like this book says, nothing is impossible.
It's exactly it.
What are the chances that Life to the Max and Christopher Reeves Foundation can collaborate on something?
It's gonna happen. In fact, my director of the National Paralysis Center, Regina, is over there. I've already talked to her there. We're talking I'm off on Monday, but Tuesday I'm back in the office. And one of the first calls I'm going to make is to our communications team and getting something going.
I gotta get your.
I'm going to give you my card, and you'll have my email, my text. But anybody that wants to reach out to us, it's ChristopherReeve.org. We provide any information that you on specific thing, from anything from skin pressure to going back to work to working through Medicaid problems to sex to bowel, bladder, whatever it might be. We can provide this information, but you can also reach out to me when you're there, when you go through the program, and I can set you up with a mentor. I'll talk with you, and I will set you up with you or your family members with whatever you're needing.
I want it to be okay to put Life to the Max and Christopher Reeves together on a shirt or something.
I think we need to do something. I mean,
I would love
I'm already on your side. I mean, even though you're a Bear fan, that's okay. I mean, you did beat my Cowboys this year, but we're not talking about that. Okay.
Well, there is one thing I want to tell you. So, Next Steps is a place that I go work out at in Willow Springs, Illinois. It's right on the outskirts of Chicago. There's a owner, John O'Connor, worked with Christopher Reeves.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yes, so like it would be like full circle, like, and I work with them now, and I'm supposed to be going to San Diego, hopefully, for a study that they've been working on to try to get me out of this wheelchair.
Well, you got to keep me up to date on that. And then at our booth across here is, we call her Nurse Linda. She does twice a month chats about any specific paralysis, spinal cord injury problem. But she was the head nurse for Christopher Reeve when he was injured the whole time. So I bet you they maybe cross paths as well.
I would love to.
But you need to let me know. I want to know when when you go and how it goes and what's going on.
I got you. We'll exchange information.
Yes.
I'm not alive right now, so I can't exchange information.
No, I understand that. I'm not giving out phone numbers either right now, but
I do say ChristopherReeve.org. You can go do it. But I mean, that's amazing that they're doing that. I mean, and the fact you're staying in shape, because I tell people, even if you don't have access to a gym, there's YouTube videos, there's stuff out there, but we got to do some, even if you're limited on just a little bit of movement, do it. Breathing, can all help our health.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Hey, thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is we're definitely going to do something together. And
I hope so. I would love to be in, like, just the name with Christopher.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you're not getting rid of me. You're stuck with me now. So, I want to thank everyone that's out there listening. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So, okay.
ChristopherReeve.org, everybody. And for everybody who has listened to this podcast, if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take a breath for me.
Never really tripping, try my best to stay focused. I try to keep it cool, all you lames keep it bogus. I head on a swivel, looking out for the locust. I'm on 10 toes, trying to top my opponents. Am I the next best thing?